Hi friends, welcome back. This week we've been talking about lots of things that happen on a farm. We talked about a lot of the animals that live on a farm and also how fruits and vegetables grow on a farm. I'm going to share a story with you today about a farmer who plants a vegetable garden. And there's some sneaky animals that come do some sneaky things in his garden. So come sit down with me and enjoy the story. This book is called Muncha, 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 and it was written by Candace Fleming and G. Brian Carras. For years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables and gobbling them up. But he never once tried. Until this spring, said Mr. McGreely. This spring, by golly, I'm going to plant my vegetable garden. What's he looking at the store? So he hoed and he sowed and he watched his garden grow. Who's watching him make the garden? Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. What happened? The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, no bunny can get into my garden now. Who's watching? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. He huffed, those flop ears can never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. Who's watching him? And the sun went down and the moon came up and tippy, 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 pat. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh, how do you think he's feeling the next morning? The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. He yelled like this, ah! Do that with me. Ah! So he built a deep, wet trench outside the tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. "Ha!" he snorted. "Those pufftails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now." And who's watching? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dive, paddle, splash, splash, splash. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh, the next morning when Mr. McGreely saw his chomped blossoms, his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was furious. Do you know what furious means? It means really super duper angry. So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled, and trapped and locked, and built a huge, enormous thing before the deep wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. See this huge thing? And who's watching? "I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure," he exclaimed. "They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. No bunny, no how can get into my garden now." Do you think they're going to be able to get in? And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 stop. The three hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them. And tippy, 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 pat, they hopped away. They couldn't get over it. They couldn't get under it. They couldn't get through it. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was happy. He was so happy. Look at that smile. "I beat the bunnies," he whooped, and he did a jiggly wiggly victory dance. Woohoo! Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. "Oh," said Mr. McGreely, "at last." And smacking his lips, he picked and pulled lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. What do you see in this picture? Who followed him in? That's right. And then he's carrying his basket to pick some vegetables. And what do you see in the basket? Here's the next page. He's picking his vegetables. Oh, I forgot some words. And when his basket was overflowing with vegetables, he reached inside for something yummy. And, muncha, muncha, muncha. What happened in that basket? Those sneaky bunnies. They love those vegetables. The end. In the end, he decided to share the carrots with the bunnies after all. All right, I hope you enjoyed that story. That story had lots of yummy vegetables in it. What's your favorite vegetable? I'd love to know. Tell me in the comments below, okay? All right, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.